Hello, class. The wait is over. This is part 5B of Book 4, second edition. It drives me crazy. It's pedal to the metal. Everybody, part 1, grammar, wish plus would. Now I need you to look at a Twitter thread. Right now we call it X, where people tweeted about things that annoy them. Check the things that annoy you too. All right, very good. Okay, let's read them together. I wish people wouldn't start stupid rumors that aren't true. Okay. I wish my boyfriend wouldn't fall asleep every time I want to talk to him. I wish my son wouldn't always leave the car without gas every time he borrows it. I wish people would turn up when they say they're going to. I wish people would stop using emoticons and smiley faces. They just annoy me. I wish my family would put DVDs back in their cases. I hate finding empty cases when I'm looking for something to watch. I wish my friends would put their phones away when they're having a meal. You shouldn't text at a dinner table. I wish my children would take their tissues out of their pockets before they put their clothes in washing machine. I wish my boss wouldn't always schedule meetings during my lunch hour. I wish people wouldn't ask me, what are you doing, when it's completely obvious what I'm doing. I wish advertising companies wouldn't use songs I really love to advertise something I hate. I wish people wouldn't leave supermarket carts in the parking lot just because they're too lazy to take them back. I wish salespeople would serve me when I'm waiting instead of chatting with their friends. And last tweet, I wish people would throw away pens when they don't work anymore. Very nice. So you can check the ones that annoy you. Now we've got work to do. I need you to compare the things you checked with a partner. Which are your top 3 and why? So you have to speak with your friend. You can use this language. I agree with you on this one. It really annoys me when. It's so annoying. It's so annoying when. It drives me crazy when, for example, people shout on their cell phones. Speak with your friends. Compare your ideas. It's your turn. My friends, listen.
3.15.
I wish bike riders wouldn't ride on the sidewalk.
I wish you'd spend a little more time with the children.
I wish the bus would come. I'm freezing.
I wish you wouldn't leave your shoes there. I almost fell over them.
Okay, so wish and would or wouldn't. Okay, for example, we use wish plus a person or thing, okay, plus would to talk about things we want to happen or stop happening because they annoy us. For example, you don't usually use wish plus would for a wish about yourself. Okay, you use it for others. For example, I wish bike riders wouldn't ride on the sidewalk. Look, like this. Very good. It's very easy. Let's practice it right now, here. Write sentences with I wish plus would or wouldn't. It annoys me that you don't put away your clothes. I wish you'd put away your clothes. Okay? Very good. So, write sentences. For example, it annoys me that salespeople aren't more polite. What do you say? Let's do it together. I wish salespeople would be more polite. Number 2, you turn the heat up all the time. I wish you wouldn't turn the heat up all the time. My sister doesn't clean our room. I wish my sister would clean our room. Very good. Easy, right? Number 4, the neighbor's dog barks at night. I wish the neighbor's dog wouldn't bark at night. It doesn't stop raining. I wish it would stop raining. Jane talks about her boyfriend so much. I wish Jane wouldn't talk about her boyfriend so much. My dad sings in front of my friends. I wish my dad wouldn't sing in front of my friends. You drive so fast. What do you say? I wish you wouldn't drive so fast. Okay, my husband doesn't do the dishes. So you can say, I wish my husband would do the dishes. And the bus doesn't come. I wish the bus would come. As easy as that. Wish plus would or want. You did great. Okay, now it's your turn. I need you to write 3 things about you that you wish would happen or the things that annoy you. For example, I wish something. For example, I wish people wouldn't put their trash on the street. Or I wish people wouldn't talk so loud on their phone. Write your 3 sentences. Very good. And if you have done it, I need you to compare your sentences with your friends. Exchange ideas. Speak it up all the way to part 2. Vocabulary and speaking. Everybody, complete the sentences with the correct form of the word in bold. Okay? For example, look, it really infuriates. Okay, you can say, infuriates me when people drive close behind me. Okay, take your time. Do it. You can also stop the video. Very nice. Now, I need you to listen and check your answers.
3.16. 1.
It really infuriates me when people drive close behind me.
2. I get very frustrated when something goes wrong with my internet connection and I don't know how to fix it. 3.
It's so embarrassing when I can't remember someone's name, but they can remember mine.
4.
I used to love shopping during a big sale, but now I find it exhausting. After an hour, I just want to go home.
5.
I'm often disappointed with my birthday presents. My expectations are obviously too high.
6.
It amazes me that some people still don't buy things like books and music online.
7.
I find speaking in public absolutely terrifying. I hate doing it.
8. I have often been inspired by reading about how some successful people have overcome difficulties. 9.
I never find instructions for electronic devices helpful. In fact, usually they just confuse me.
10.
When I travel, I'm always thrilled if I manage to communicate something in a foreign language.
Okay, very nice. Now, talking about feelings. Look, we often talk about feelings in 3 different ways. By using a verb, annoy, the noise is starting to annoy me, or by using an adjective, ing adjective. For example, that noise is really annoying. Or ed adjective, I'm getting really annoyed by that noise. Okay? Now I need you to take your time, write sentences like this, and speak with your friends. We've got work to do. Follow me. Okay, first let's put it into practice. Complete the sentences below with a form of the adjective in bold. We are extremely impressed by your resume. Your resume is extremely impressive. I'm very stressed by my job. My job is very stressing. I was really scared during the movie. The ending was especially scary. Okay, I was delighted to meet Jane. She really is a delightful person. I was really offended by what you said. What you said was really offensive. Okay, now in pairs, you and your partner, you and your friends, choose 3 circles to talk about. An embarrassing mistake we once made, something that makes you feel depressed, a movie or book that you found really disappointing, something that really annoys you when you're shopping, something that sometimes frustrates you about learning English, something that really stresses you in your daily life. Take your time, write your sentences, speak with your friends, and express your ideas. You're very smart. Believe in yourself. Great, you're making progress. This is part 3, reading and speaking. As you can see, we're doing speaking as much as we can. All right, regrets. We've had a few. Our love lives, health, and childhoods. I need you to take your time. You're going to read an article about some research that has been done about what people regret in life. It's very interesting. Before you read, with a partner, say whether you think the following sentences are true or false. Okay, take your time. Now, I need you to read this and tell me in what part of the article it says those sentences. Okay, take your time. It's your turn. Read and underline those parts. I'll wait.
A few minutes later.
All right, you're back. So let's read it together. A recent survey has shown that we spend almost 3/4 of an hour every week dwelling on our regrets. 3/4 of the people surveyed said that they did not believe it was possible to live a life without regrets, perhaps explaining why. On average, we spend 44 minutes a week thinking about things we could or should have done differently. Our main areas of regret are our love lives, 20%, family, 18%, career, 16%, health, 14%, and finances, 14%. On average, most people have 2 main regrets in life, and 17% of those interviewed laid the blame at someone else's door. But 2/3 of 2,000 people interviewed said that they thought their regrets had led them to act more positively and that they had learned from their mistakes. 1/4 of them said their regrets had made them into a person they are today. Common regrets range from not getting on the property ladder sooner or not having had more relationships when they were younger. Others include regretting not telling someone we loved them and wishing that we had repaired a damaged friendship. Okay, very good. Now, these are some of the top 20 regrets, okay, and they are not in order, by the way. Getting married too early, not asking grandparents about their lives when they were alive, not having exercised more or eaten more healthily, not having saved enough money, not learning a foreign language or a musical instrument when they were younger, not working harder at school, not having traveled more and seen more of the world, making the wrong career choices, not keeping in touch with friends, having started smoking, arguing with a friend and not making up. Very good, not bad. So let's see if they are true or false. Most people spend some time every day thinking about the things that they regret having done or not having done. Yeah, true. It's line 3. On average, we spend 44 minutes a week thinking about things we could or should have done differently. The main area of life where people have regret is relationships. Well, actually, it's true, yeah. Line 4. Yeah, our main areas of regret are our love lives, 20%. Yeah. I was gonna say false, yeah. My bad. On average, people have one major regret in life. False. On average, most people have 2 main regrets in life. And most people think that things that they regret having done or not done are others people's fault. Well, false. 17% laid the blame at someone else's door. And most people believe that regrets are positive because you learn from your mistakes. Well, that's true, but 2/3 thought that their regrets had led them to act more positively and that they had learned from their mistakes. Very good. You did great, but we're not done yet. Follow me. Let's check your memory first. Without looking back at the article, can you remember another ways of saying 75%? 66.6%, 25%. How do we say this? Okay, take your time, look at the article. 75%, 3/4, 66.6, 2/3, 25%, a quarter. Very good, very nice. Now I need you to read these regrets with your friends. Okay, you and your partner. Number what you think the top 5 regrets were in the survey. Number 1 is the most important regret. The others follow. Do it and speak with your friends. What are your biggest regrets? And now, moment of truth. I need you to listen and check. How many did you get right? Which do you think would be the top regrets for people in your age group? So, I need you to listen and check. Compare your answers with the survey. Let's do it.
3.17. The top 5 regrets were, in reverse order, number 5, having started smoking, number 4, not having saved enough money, number 3, not having exercised more or eaten more healthily, number 2, not keeping in touch with friends, and the number 1 regret was not having traveled more and seen more of the world.
All right, very good. If you need, you can listen more and more, again and again. All right, very good. Now let's do it together. So these were the regrets. The type 5 regrets in reverse from bottom to top. Okay, number 5, having started smoking. Number 4, not having saved enough money. Number 3, not having exercised more or eaten more healthily. Number 2, not keeping in touch with friends. And number 1, regret was not having traveled more and seen more of the world. Again, I need you to speak about your regrets. Compare your answers with your friends. Talk about your life. So far, so good. Everybody, grammar, wish plus simple past or past perfect. I need you to read 4 comments that people posted on the newspaper website after reading the article. Do you agree with any of them? Why or why not? Okay, take your time and read it. There's no rush. And after that, I need you to underline 6 sentences in the comments with wish. What tense is the verb after wish, and are they wishes about the present or about the past? Okay, there's no rush. Take your time. Read and answer these questions. I'll wait. Do it yourself.
A few moments later.
Back to the game. So let's read the comments together. I'm almost 23 and saving incredibly hard to travel around the world. I'd hate to reach my 30s and then look back at my 20s and say, I wish I had traveled more when I had the time. Matthew, Dallas. I don't regret anything. There's nothing that I wish was different about my life. Everything I've done, however stupid it seems now, seemed like the right thing at the time. Of course, I've made mistakes, but I don't regret anything. And yes, that includes saving money, bad boyfriends, all the usual things. I see them as pure mistakes, something to learn from, something that makes me the person I am today. I never think I wish I'd stayed in college or I wish I'd married my ex. If I had done these things, then I wouldn't be who I am today. Cindy from Chicago. All right. Regrets, I try not to think about them. What's the point? There's no use crying over spilled milk. Oh, that's a very good expression. But I have a few. Not buying the house I was renting for half the price I eventually paid for it, and smoking. I really wish I hadn't wasted all the money on cigarettes. What a fool. Still, I managed to give it up, which I'm proud of. Nancy, Seattle. And I wish there was a song called Je regrette tout. I don't know, my French is very bad. I regret everything in French. That would be my philosophy of life. Martin from Portland. Okay, very good. Not bad. So let's check your answers. Well, I wish I had traveled more when I had the time. Past perfect. There is nothing that I wish was different about my life. Simple past. I wish I'd stayed in college. Past perfect. I wish I had married my ex. Past perfect. I really wish I hadn't wasted all my money on cigarettes. Past perfect. I wish there was a song called Je regrette tout. Simple past. Okay, very good. Not a bad start. Now, look, sentences 1, 3, 4, and 5 are past perfect and refer to the past. Sentences 2 and 6, look, there's nothing that I wish was different about my life. And number 6, I wish there was a song called Je regrette tout. Are simple past and refer to the present. That's the difference. But we're not done yet. Let's look at the grammar. Listen.
3.18. 1.
I wish I was 10 years younger.
I wish I could understand what they're saying.
2.
I wish I hadn't bought those shoes.
I wish you'd told me the truth.
Okay, very nice. So, we use wish plus simple past to talk about things we would like to be different in the present or future, but that are impossible or unlikely, not very likely. After wish, we can use was or were with I, he, she, and it. I wish I was or I were taller. We use wish plus past perfect to talk about things that happened or didn't happen in the past and that you now regret. Now, if only, we can also use if only instead of I wish in all these structures. For example, if only he'd hurry up, if only I had a little more money, if only she hadn't told him about the affair. Okay, now let's practice this together. Complete with the verb in the simple past or past perfect. This is your gig. Okay, take your time, do it, there's no rush. Okay, and if you're ready, check it with your friends, then we do it together. For example, I wish I had naturally blonde hair. Suzanne wishes her parents so far away. Didn't live so far away. Number 3, I wish I had started learning English when I was a child. This apartment's so cold. I wish it had central heat. Number 5, I wish we had bought more expensive seats. I can't see a thing. Number 6, the party sounds as if it was a lot of fun. I wish I had been there. Is it only 5 o'clock? I wish it didn't get dark so early in winter. Number 8, I wish I could speak French. It would be useful in this job. Number 9, this suitcase is too heavy. I wish I hadn't packed so many clothes. Number 10, I'm really tired. I wish we had gone by car instead of deciding to walk. And number 11, I wish I wasn't or weren't an only child. I'd love to have brothers and sisters. And number 12, I'd love to be able to play the piano. I wish I had learned when I was a child. And that's it for the grammar part. Part 5, pronunciation. Headphones time. I need you to listen and write down 6 sentences with wish. There are 6 sentences. Okay, listen and write them with me.
3.19. 1.
I wish I hadn't eaten 2 pieces of cake.
2.
I wish I'd gone to college.
3.
I wish it wasn't my turn to cook tonight.
4.
I wish I knew where we were.
5.
I wish we didn't have to go to your parents for dinner.
6.
I wish I'd bought those shoes I saw on sale.
Okay, very good, very nice. Now everyone, match each sentence from A with a sentence below. This is your gig. All do one of them. Okay, very good. For example, let me do one of them. All right. Number one. Number one. Look, I wish I hadn't eaten 2 pieces of cake. Well, it's not my fault. You have no self-control. Take your time. Do the rest. I'll be waiting. No problem. You can stop the video. Now let's listen to the rest of the answers.
3.20. 1.
I wish I hadn't eaten 2 pieces of cake.
Well, it's not my fault. You have no self-control. 2.
I wish I'd gone to college.
Well, it isn't too late. You're only 22.
3.
I wish it wasn't my turn to cook tonight.
Sorry, but it is, and I'm getting hungry.
4.
I wish I knew where we were.
Well, don't ask me. I've never been here before.
5.
I wish we didn't have to go to your parents for dinner.
Do you want me to call and make an excuse?
6.
I wish I'd bought those shoes I saw on sale.
Why don't you go back to the store and see if they still have them?
Well done. You did great. All the way to part 6. Great. You made it so far. Okay, now I need you to listen and match the speakers 1 to 5 with regrets. There is one sentence that you don't need. Okay, your turn.
3.21. 1.
The only thing I really regret is not having had the courage to talk to a girl I met at a party last summer. I really liked her. She was very attractive. But I just wasn't brave enough to start a conversation. I wish I'd tried. I'm absolutely positive we would have gotten along well. Now it's too late. She's engaged to another guy.
2.
At the risk of sounding really negative, the one thing I really regret in my life is getting married. My sister said to me in the car on the way to the registry office, "Someone has to say to you that you really don't have to do this, you know." And, I ignored her because I thought, what do you know? You're still single. But, in fact, the next day when I woke up, I realized it was a terrible mistake, and I spent the next 15 years trying to get out of it. So, and I would never do it again, so that's probably my biggest regret.
3.
I really wish I'd been able to know my grandmother better. She died when I was 12, and since then I discovered that she must have been a really fascinating person. And there are so many things I would love to have been able to talk to her about. She was Polish, but she was in Russia, in St. Petersburg during the Russian Revolution, and she knew all kinds of interesting people at the time. Painters, writers, people like that. I was only a child, so I never asked her much about her own life. Now I'm discovering all about her through reading her old letters and papers. But I wish she'd lived longer so that I could have talked to her about those times face to face.
4.
When I was 15, I had a weekend job, in a supermarket, stocking shelves and that kind of thing. My friend also worked there, and he persuaded me one day to help him steal a carton of cigarettes, 200 cigarettes from the stockroom. It was a crazy idea and totally out of character for me to do something like that. I'd always been very honest until then. Anyway, the store manager found where we'd hidden the cigarettes, and he called the police. So when we came to work that evening, the police were waiting for us. Although we got off with just a warning, we were only kids. The police came to my house and talked to my mom. I felt so awful. But in the long run, it was probably a good thing, because it meant that I never, ever thought about stealing something again.
5. When I was 16, I got the chance to change schools and go to a better school to do my last 2 years. My parents were really eager for me to change schools because they thought I'd probably get better scores on the college aptitude test and have a better chance of going to college. But I was totally against the idea because I didn't want to leave all my friends behind, and I didn't know anyone at the other school. So in the end, I managed to convince them and I stayed at my old school. I did okay on the test, but not super well. Now I regret not listening to my parents because I think it would have been better for my future career. But at the time, I just couldn't see it.
Okay, very good. You can listen multiple times and check. All right, so these are the answers. Check your answers. Very good. Now, I need you to listen again and tell me, why do the speakers mention or say the following? For example, I really liked her. Now it's too late. Okay, very good. Listen again and write. Let's go.
3.21. 1.
The only thing I really regret is not having had the courage to talk to a girl I met at a party last summer. I really liked her. She was very attractive. But I just wasn't brave enough to start a conversation. I wish I'd tried. I'm absolutely positive we would have gotten along well. Now it's too late. She's engaged to another guy.
2.
At the risk of sounding really negative, the one thing I really regret in my life is getting married. My sister said to me in the car on the way to the registry office, "Someone has to say to you that you really don't have to do this, you know." And, I ignored her because I thought, what do you know? You're still single. But, in fact, the next day when I woke up, I realized it was a terrible mistake, and I spent the next 15 years trying to get out of it. So, and I would never do it again, so that's probably my biggest regret.
3.
I really wish I'd been able to know my grandmother better. She died when I was 12, and since then I discovered that she must have been a really fascinating person. And there are so many things I would love to have been able to talk to her about. She was Polish, but she was in Russia, in St. Petersburg during the Russian Revolution, and she knew all kinds of interesting people at the time. Painters, writers, people like that. I was only a child, so I never asked her much about her own life. Now I'm discovering all about her through reading her old letters and papers. But I wish she'd lived longer so that I could have talked to her about those times face to face.
4.
When I was 15, I had a weekend job in a supermarket, stocking shelves and that kind of thing. My friend also worked there, and he persuaded me one day to help him steal a carton of cigarettes, 200 cigarettes from the stockroom. It was a crazy idea and totally out of character for me to do something like that. I'd always been very honest until then. Anyway, the store manager found where we'd hidden the cigarettes, and he called the police. So when we came to work that evening, the police were waiting for us. Although we got off with just a warning, we were only kids, the police came to my house and talked to my mom. I felt so awful. But in the long run, it was probably a good thing, because it meant that I never, ever thought about stealing something again.
5. When I was 16, I got the chance to change schools and go to a better school to do my last 2 years. My parents were really eager for me to change schools because they thought I'd probably get better scores on the college aptitude test and have a better chance of going to college. But I was totally against the idea because I didn't want to leave all my friends behind, and I didn't know anyone at the other school. So in the end, I managed to convince them and I stayed at my old school. I did okay on the test, but not super well. Now I regret not listening to my parents because I think it would have been better for my future career. But at the time, I just couldn't see it.
All right, very good. So let's check them one by one. I really liked her. Now it's too late. So he was attracted to the girl. Now it's too late. It's too late because the girl who he was too afraid to talk to is now engaged and to be married. Someone has to say to you that you really don't have to do this. I spent the next 15 years trying to get out of it. Okay, so someone has to say to you, you really don't have to do this. This is what her sister said on the way to her wedding, and I spent the next 15 years trying to get out of it. This is how long it took her to get divorced. Number 3, the Russian Revolution, the old letters. Well, the Russian Revolution, her Polish grandmother was in Russia during the revolution and met many interesting people, painters, writers. Her granddaughter wishes she could have talked to her about this time, old letters. By reading her old letters, the granddaughter is finding out about her life. All right, now, next one. It was a crazy idea and totally out of character. In the long run, it was probably a good thing. So it was a crazy idea. Why? Because the man was usually very honest, and he realizes now that in the end, it probably had a positive effect on his life because he never stole anything again. And last one, my parents were really eager for me to change, but I was totally against the idea. So let's say her parents wanted her to go to a better school, but at the time, she didn't want to change schools. And that's it. But we've got a little speaking to do. Follow me. And this is the last set. Work in small groups. Then talk to other students. Okay, I need you to take your time, write these. 2 things you wish you could do, but you can't. 2 things you wish you had that would improve your life. 2 things you wish you had done when you were younger. 2 things you wish you hadn't done when you were younger. Take your time, write as many sentences as you want. And now, if you have done it, compare your sentences with your friends. Share your life experiences. And that's the way the cookie crumbles. Everybody, thank you for watching. You can download the slides in the description part. If you have a question, there's the channel's WhatsApp link. You can contact me directly. Wish you the best, purpose over pleasure, and I will teach you as long as I live. That's a promise. Bye-bye.